Hey guys, welcome to Together We Can Cook. Tonight I'm meal prepping for Christmas tomorrow. I'm going to be making the string bean casserole, but we are not going to be cooking it tonight. What I'm going to do is assemble everything, and I'm actually going to put it in a storage bag just to save room in the fridge. And then tomorrow we're going to put it in a crock pot and cook it that way because the oven is going to be packed full. We're actually making a ham, and that takes up a lot of the oven. So, what I usually do is I put most of my sides in crock pots. So, you're not going to see the finished product in this video, but I will explain how long that it would take to cook. So I started out with 2 bags of frozen string beans that I picked up at the store. And this is 1 can of Campbell's soup. It is cream of mushroom. So I'm going to put the whole can in. And I have some ground black pepper. And I'm going to sprinkle that all around. And this I'm probably going to save. Let's save this until the end so we don't break them up. Those are the crunchy onions. And we're only going to put half the can because the other half is going to go with the on top of it tomorrow after it's just about cooked. So I have here 1/2 cup of whole milk, and this is soy sauce. I'm just going to put a few little dashes, and I'm going to grab my spoon. Let's give this a mix. Now these string beans are frozen, so a lot of the milk and the cream of mushroom soup is kind of going to stick because those string beans are so cold, but that's okay. Everything is gonna start to defrost in the fridge overnight. So right now it's late at night on Christmas Eve. So this is gonna defrost overnight. And tomorrow at about, I'd say maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock, I'm going to put this in a crock pot. I'm going to spray the crock pot with some sort of maybe vegetable spray so it doesn't stick. And I'm going to unlock my Ziploc bag, dump everything in the crock pot, put the lid on, put it on high. And a few hours later, maybe not even, if I put it on at 2, 3, 4, maybe at 4 o'clock, I'm going to check. And usually what I do is I let it go for like, okay, let's say 2 hours on high. I'm going to open it up and mix everything around because what was on the edges of the crock pot, like up against the wall of the crock that's in there, that's going to cook faster than what's in the middle. So what I do is I take a huge spoon, mix everything around, get everything away from the wall, up from the bottom. That way everything is cooking evenly. I'm going to put the top back on, maybe leave it on high for a little longer. Now, if we eat about maybe 5:30ish, I'm going to check it and see, does it need to still be on high maybe after 4 o'clock, 4:30, because maybe it's getting really cooked. So if it's like totally done, I'm going to sprinkle the other half of these crunchy onions on top. And the crock pot has a keep warm mode. If it's like almost cooked, then I switch it to low. So you can control this and cook all your sides in the crock pot while you're keeping your oven open for things that have to be in an oven that you can't cook in a crock pot. If that crazy story that I told makes any sense, but it saves me from monopolizing the oven when some of these things can definitely go in a crock pot. So pretty much I'm starting them about 1:32, starting everything on high, and I'm just like watching it once in a while, stirring it, and then depending on how it's going, I'm adjusting the temperature of the crock pot so that we have everything ready to roll at the same time, which is usually about 5:30 for dinner. So this is pretty much mixed up. I'm going to show it to you guys. Definitely the milk and the soup right now is freezing to the string beans because they just came out of the freezer like 5 minutes ago. So here's what it's looking like. I'm going to now take, this is half of the crunchy onions. So I'm going to put the crunchy onions in, and I'm not going to mix it too much because I don't want to break up all these onions. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a flip over here, fold those onions in, and I'm going to go and get myself a Ziploc gallon bag, and we're going to get this in the gallon bag and bring it down to the fridge, because the other thing is, maybe ideally I would have liked to have stored these in the crock and then put the whole crock from the crock pot in the fridge for tomorrow. But there's no way 5 or probably 6 crocks are going to fit in my fridge. So to save room, for now it's going to go in a gallon bag until we need it tomorrow. So let me grab my bag and I'll be right back. Okay, I got my gallon bag and it's on this little stand, so it will hold it open for me while I get these string beans in here. So let's try to get them in without getting them all over the dining room table. A little at a time. They're still kind of frozen together, so it's not that easy. Let's try to get everything in. Okay, I got everything in. I'm going to take the bag off the stand and put that stand on the side. I'm going to close this up and we're going to bring this down to the fridge where we can cook it tomorrow in the crock pot on Christmas Day. Let me know if you guys try something like this to save yourself room in your oven and room in your fridge when you have big gatherings and you have tons and tons of food to make. I will put the recipe and how I make this and control the temperature on the crock pot. I usually pin all my recipes to the comment section of my videos. All right, guys, if you stayed this long, I appreciate it. Happy cooking!